One misty morning in a dense German forest, fog clung to the tall trees like giant walls. From afar came the faint rumbling of two empty stomachs, those of Hansel and Gretel. This is a story that begins with hunger, but ends with courage. In a poor little hut at the edge of the woods, Hansel and Gretel's parents sat in despair, for there was no more food left. The cold-hearted stepmother whispered, "Take the children deep into the forest. At least there, they won't take our bread." That night, Hansel quietly slipped outside and gathered shiny white pebbles under the moonlight. He knew what his stepmother intended, and he would not let his sister get lost. The next morning, their father led them far into the forest. Hansel dropped the pebbles one by one along the path, and when the sun set, the moonlight revealed a silver trail. The children followed it home safely, but their stepmother was furious. She locked the door and forbade them to leave again. The next day, she forced them into the woods once more. This time, Hansel had only crumbs of bread to mark the way. But when they tried to return, the forest was silent. The birds had eaten every crumb. The path was gone. They were truly lost. They wandered for hours, until in the distance appeared a tiny house made of gingerbread, candy, and chocolate. The sweet smell filled their empty bellies with hope. Gretel broke off a piece of sugar. Hansel plucked a bit of candy when suddenly a hoarse voice called out, "Who's nibbling at my house?" The door creaked open, and an old woman appeared. She invited them inside with a kind smile, offering warm milk and cakes. But behind her, gentle eyes lurked evil. She was a witch who fed on children. Hansel was locked in a cage, while Gretel was forced to work. Each day, the witch would feel Hansel's hand to see if he was fat enough to eat. But clever Hansel held out a thin bone instead. At last, the witch grew impatient. "Fat or thin? I'll eat you today," she shrieked. She ordered Gretel to check the oven. But when the witch bent down to peer inside, Gretel pushed her in and slammed the door shut. The fire roared, and the witch's cries vanished into silence. The children wept with relief, then searched the house, discovering a chest full of gold and jewels. They carried what they could and followed the sunlight home. Their father, heartbroken and regretful, embraced them. The cruel stepmother was gone forever. From that day on, they lived in warmth and plenty, never again letting hunger turn love into cruelty. Moral of the story: wisdom keeps hope alive in despair, and courage can burn through even the darkest forest. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe, so you won't miss the next magical journey from the land of fairy tales.